But if you're bad boys and girls, your name goes in the bad boys and girls book. And I'll bring you something horrible.
Everything has its opposite. Good has its evil. Light has its shadow. Nice has its naughty. And St. Nicholas has Krampus. While Christmas is known for its happy-go spirits and cheery traditions, here at Go Radio, we love to focus on the dark side of things. In this special, we'll talk about several topics, including the origins of Christmas, folklore tied to the holiday, and morbid legends. So grab a snack and sit back, because you're in for a sleigh ride of terror. First, let's talk about Yule. During the winter solstice, known as the shortest day of the year, the ancient celebration of Yule begins. The word Yule is a modern interpretation of Jol, another name for the Norse god Odin. This 12-day celebration is considered a sacred period to Celts, pagans, Norse, and many Germanic tribes, honoring their gods and welcoming the upcoming solar year. They considered it a time for new beginnings, rebirth, transformation, getting rid of unwanted habits, and creativity. Before the Christian and Catholic Church intervened, many Yule traditions have been incorporated into modern Christmas celebrations, including decorating with evergreens, holly and mistletoe, gift-giving, singing, and feasting. For as long as there has been a Santa Claus providing gifts for well-behaved children, there has been someone or something punishing the naughty ones. Grilla, whose name translates to growler, is considered as the Christmas witch in Icelandic folklore. It is said that she is older than Christmas itself. For thousands of years, she's been a plague on the wilderness. She is unlike anything else, a horrifying ogress with hooves, horns, and eerily long arms. Worst of all, she is a cannibal, and her specialty is children. During a winter storm, she rarely leaves her cave, but when she does, it's in the dead of night, where she can't be seen, and lures into the closest town, looking for abandoned children that are easy targets for her. With her long, deformed arms, she drags them out of their homes and into the storm. By the time anyone realizes the child is missing, it's too late. They're already dead, dismembered, and devoured by Grilla. Her hunger is never, ever satisfied. And now, the Yule Cat. This Icelandic legend prowls the streets looking for its prey, and its prey is anyone who has not received new clothes by Christmas. With glowing eyes and sharp whiskers, the Yule Cat towers over houses as it prowls the snowy streets, hunting people rather than mice. The Yule Cat's favorite prey is children. The giant feline lurks along snowy streets and countrysides, checking in windows to see which children receive new clothes for Christmas. If the Yule Cat spots anyone with frayed or torn clothing, he eats them. Frau Pecta, also known as the belly slitter, is a figure in Alpine folklore and Germanic mythology. She is known as a terrifying Christmas witch, or hag, in the Alpine regions of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. She is also depicted as a mythical being, related with the winter solstice. Her image has various regional variations and interpretations. In some traditions, she is considered a goddess of nature. She is said to roam the countryside during the 12 nights of Christmas, a period that extends from Christmas to Epiphany. Descriptions of her appearance also vary, but she is sometimes depicted as a beautiful woman, a hag, or a creature with aspects of both. In some regions, she is said to have the ability to shapeshift. Her terrifying aspect comes from her role as a judge in character and morality during this period. According to folklore, she is known to reward those who have been good and observant of traditions, but she is also stern and quick to punish those who have been lazy and disobedient. One of the more frightening aspects is her rumored habit of ripping people open and replacing their innards with straw or other undesirable materials. The myths surrounding her stories have been passed down through generations and have evolved. Hans Trap. Known as the Christmas Scarecrow, Hans Trap is well known in the French regions of Alsace and Lorraine. Hans Trap, according to the legend, was a wealthy man who was obsessed with Satanism and the occult. Many believe he had attained his riches using magic rituals and pacts with demons. Word about his evil acts eventually reached the Catholic Church, and he was excommunicated and had all of his belongings and properties confiscated. He was banished into the woods near Germany, where he lived in solitude and became filled with hatred towards the church and the villagers who cast him out. Driven insane by his isolation and developing a growing obsession with tasting human flesh, he decided to take revenge on the town's children. One Christmas night, a little boy was walking alone down a dark road that cut through a forest. Little did the boy know that he was being stalked by a scarecrow. Hans had disguised himself as one by stuffing straw into his clothing and hat. Hans leapt from the darkness and plunged a wooden stake into the boy, killing him. He then dragged the body away, dismembered it, and began to roast the flesh in the fire. Just as he was about to take the first bite, God intervened and struck the scarecrow with a bolt of lightning that killed him instantly. But Hans' spirit lingered on the earth, and children are warned to behave lest they be taken in the night by the scarecrow. Over time, the legend grew to the point that Hans became a companion of Santa Claus, punishing naughty children. And now, Krampus. The Krampus's historical origins are believed to have emerged onto the Yuletide scene in Slavic and Austrian celebrations. Winter festivals in the Alpine regions of Austria, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, Germany, and Italy all feature versions of this monstrous anti-Santa. The word itself in German means Grau, or claw, a demonic half-goat, half-demon with horns and a pointed tongue. He drags chains behind him as he walks and rattles them ominously. He carries a birch to whip bad children and carries a basket or sack on his back to kidnap them. Krampus emerged in Alpine folklore alongside celebrations of St. Nicholas, a threatening boogeyman parents invoked to keep children in line when food was scarce and attention wavered during the long dark nights of winter in the mountains. The most wickedly behaved were shackled into the monster's wooden basket to be carried away to the fires of hell, or eaten by the Krampus. In the Alpine region, December 5th marks a celebratory parade in which people dress up as Krampus and walk through the streets, scaring bystanders and chasing down the really unlucky ones. They don't actually injure people, but they are a symbolic threat of violence and rebellion against the quorum. In the oldest traditions of the Alpine region, Krampus revelers would paint their faces black, paste on a fake beard, and dress in dark clothing. They would wear wooden masks and long fur coats, sporting belts with large bells, and that whip in their hand, of course. In Catholic areas, where the fear of the devil was stronger, the costume included horns to highlight their evil nature. Krampus masks are often called larvae, from the Latin word larva, that means both mask and ghost. Traditional masks are monstrous with exaggerated features and wide mouths, featured by massive animal horns. During the 17th and 18th centuries, Austrian archbishops tried to ban the Krampus tradition, but were not successful. Since the turn of the 21st century, Krampus events, with the help of commercialism, have become greater and numerous across the world. From Laredo, the closest Krampus celebratory parade is in Denton, Texas. I looked it up, and I'm already planning to attend the parade in 2024. In my findings, I found out that in 2014, in a region in Austria, UNESCO declared the Krampus play as vital to the cultural heritage of humanity, which proves to me that it's not only the good guys that get immortalized. The monsters get their place in history, too. So that wraps up our Krampus special. My thoughts about this episode were that I've always been fond about Krampus, but never really researched the legend or other folklore that is tied to the holiday season. In doing so, I entered a maze of discovery that led me down a rabbit hole of folklore, morbid legends, and ancient traditions that have been modernized and tied to this holiday season. Let me unwrap the last gift of 2023 by revealing that there is so much more in store on Ghoul Radio for 2024. And it all begins with our Valentine's Day special, where love is to die for. Stay tuned, Ghouliacs.
Annie, for God's...
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best.
Annie, please!
Almost done. Just One more. God, I love you.